Somewhere inside your body right now, a cell just divided, probably fine. But sometimes one cell gets it wrong. The DNA copies incorrectly, the body misses it, and that one mistake starts growing. We call it cancer. We blame modern food, modern pollution, modern life. But in 2016, inside a cave in South Africa, researchers found a bone, 1.7 million years old. It had a tumor growing in it. Before language, before fire, before our species had a name for itself. Cancer was here before we were. That bone belonged to an early human ancestor. When researchers examined it, they found osteosarcoma, a malignant bone cancer. Not an injury, not a fracture, a tumor. The same study found a benign spinal tumor in a skeleton from the same period. And here is the thing that reframes everything. Cancer mostly attacks soft tissue, organs, skin, blood. Soft tissue doesn't fossil. It vanishes over centuries. What we find in ancient bone is only a fraction, a tiny accidental fraction of the cancers that actually existed. Scientists call this preservation bias. Every fossil tumor we find represents thousands we will never see. So why didn't ancient humans seem to suffer from it the way we do? The answer is brutal in its simplicity. They died of other things first. Infection, injury, famine. The average prehistoric human rarely survived past 35. Most cancers need decades to develop. The ancient human didn't live long enough for cancer to finish what it started. Something else always got there first. Which raises the real question. If they lived as long as we do, would cancer have taken them to? Some of them survived long enough, and when they did, they saw it. They documented it. They tried to understand it. The Edwin Smith Papyrus, written in ancient Egypt around 1600 BC, describes bulging tumors of the breast. The physician who wrote it examined the patient carefully, pressed his hands against the mass, recorded every observation, then wrote 3 words. There is no treatment. Sit with that for a moment, not panic, not denial, the most honest thing a physician can write, the acknowledgement that something exists beyond what he can fix. 4,000 years ago, no microscope, no imaging, just a man, his hands, and the courage to tell the truth. 300 years later, the Greek physician Hippocrates gave it a name. He called it karkinos, the Greek word for crab. He thought the swollen veins, spreading outward from a tumor, looked like crab legs, reaching into surrounding tissue. The Roman physicians translated it into Latin cancer, the word we still use today, named by a man with no tools we would recognize. Just his eyes, his hands, and the devastating honesty to name something he couldn't cure. To understand why cancer is ancient, you need to understand what it actually is. Every second your body divides cells, billions of them, constantly. Most copies are perfect, but sometimes the DNA gets damaged, copied wrong, and the correction system misses it. That mutated cell doesn't stop dividing. It builds into a mass. It invades surrounding tissue. It spreads. This is not a modern malfunction. This is a risk built into the fundamental process of being alive. Every organism with cells that divide carries this risk. Cancer isn't something that happened to the human body because of modernity. It is woven into the fabric of multicellular life itself. The question was never whether ancient humans got cancer. The question is, why does it feel like we are losing to it more than they did? Before 1895, no physician in history could see inside a living body, a tumor the size of a fist, maybe a tumor the size of a fingernail, growing silently in a lung, completely invisible. Most internal cancers in the ancient world went undetected entirely. People died of unnamed illness, of wasting disease, of simply fading. What looked like mystery then, we can now see in real time on a screen. Modern imaging finds cancers that would have been invisible to every physician who ever lived. Before that year, we didn't create more cancer. We created the ability to find it. And we live longer now. Modern medicine eliminated the infections, the injuries. That used to kill people young. So millions of people now reach their 60s, 70s, 80s. The exact window when cancer becomes most likely. The ancient human didn't survive long enough for cancer to finish its work. We do. And yes, some modern risks are real. Tobacco, industrial chemicals, chronic inflammation. These didn't exist in the ancient world. Ancient humans had cooking fire smoke, parasitic infections, relentless sun exposure. They weren't living in a cancer-free paradise. They were just dying before cancer could win. A creature walked this earth 1.7 million years ago. It had a tumor growing in its foot. It couldn't name it, couldn't treat it, couldn't understand what was happening inside its own body. Thousands of years later, a physician in Egypt pressed his hands against a tumor, examined it carefully, and wrote, "There is no treatment," and for most of human history, he was right. Then something changed. We lived long enough. We looked carefully enough. We refused to write, "There is no treatment," and mean it forever. The tumor in that ancient foot and the treatments being developed today exist inside the same story, one of the longest fights any species has ever fought. And for the first time, we are actually winning